Hey, Scott from MyGrowthRings.com here.
And Seth from SethMarkwood.com.
Together along with you, the three of us, we are Markwood Men's Breakfast Club. Welcome back once again. And this is Tobacco Advent 2021, Day 10.
Double digits.
Man, who'd have thought? We're getting there.
The days keep one day at a time.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
So, what are we smoking?
So we are smoking Amphora's Cesare Borgia. I am confident I have butchered that, and no matter how I look at it to try to pronounce it. Scott and Seth, please give this a try. This tin came from my father. It has some age on it. Hope you like it. Nate. Hey, thank you so much for sharing this with us. According to, go ahead and light up. We've already packed our pipes. Go ahead and light up. According to this now faded piece here, this combines American and Oriental leaves in a composition enriched with dark double fermented Virginia. And I think that according to the back of the tin, this is a, you can expect the smoking experience to be delicately aromatic, smooth burning, and flavorful.
So we kind of have this tradition here when boy smells the tobacco initially. If it's a strong English tobacco, he says, you're going to want to change pipes. Because he knows, I got a pipe back here on the tree that is pretty much my funky pipe. And so he said that, and then I gave this a whiff, and no, not at all. This has got a little bit of a fruity smell to it, not at all an English smell. So I think maybe your nose is giving out on you.
I was smelling the fermentation, I think.
I
took the whiff right from the tin.
That makes sense.
It's fermented and aged, and so there was a little bit of non-traditional aromatic smell to it. And so,
okay.
Happy to be
tell you
proven wrong.
right now, that's going into the car with me.
No, we'll see.
That's heading home. No. All right, so our question for the day. What would you like to learn about in the next year, next week, and today? I'm assuming those are three different things.
Yeah.
Unless you're a slow learner.
It could be.
I remember we asked a similar question to this a year or two ago, and you were interested in learning about 3D printing, which you've really taken to.
I have,
That's
yeah.
great.
Last year, I think I posted stuff about it. I know I talked about it in the Tobacco Advent. I really got in more deeply into 3D design and CAD work for the purpose of 3D printing. And so I've not done a ton of that this year, with the exception of the gift that I made for Christmas. I did some design work there. Most of the stuff I've been 3D printing are standard prints, so I've done that.
And by the way, when you say you're going to get into 3D printing, there's a learning curve, of course, on learning the mechanics of the machine, but in the end, it's a printer. So really, it's the designing that you have to learn, right? The software. I say have to learn. You can go download designs and just print them, but
yeah, it's a little bit of both. I mean, I will say that in the last 5 years, 3D printers have become much more open it up, set it up, and start printing right away. But it's a machine, and so like any machine, when parts break, you need to be able to figure out how to fix them, and when they go down. So that is something that is of interest to me. Probably in the next year, you've primed the pump, I guess. I'm still playing around with learning more about small electronics, have become significantly less terrible at soldering in the last year, have had opportunities to do some small Arduino and Raspberry Pi projects, and so I'm always looking for a project that will help force me into learning more of those things, because at this point, all of what I have done, even with the 3D printing and CAD work, is only specifically directed to a specific project. And so, I think that is the easiest way to drive the learning experience if you've got some reason to learn stuff. But then what you're learning is going to be more narrowly applicable to the thing that you're doing. So then you got to find another thing to do to learn more. So yeah, that's something I would like to do in the next year. For over the course of the next week, one thing I want to learn a little bit more about is cryptocurrency. I've got some investments in cryptocurrency, and there are new things coming out all the time. It's difficult to track the scams from what is legitimate, timing on all of that. But this is something that I have kind of had running in the background for the last 5 years. But some of my friends are just now coming up, catching up, and because they're new to it, they're learning a lot of things that I don't know. New things that are happening there in the space, and some new opportunities for investment. I mean, so far I've been able to make some money by doing that. I think there are other opportunities to diversify what I have, and so that's something I want to learn in the next week.
And today.
I don't know.
I know that's a weird part of the Hey, the thing is, if you really are intentional about learning something, you got to start today, and you got to break it down into small pieces. So, okay, for me, a year from now, over on my other YouTube channel, my growth rings, I'm really enjoying spending the time in my shop and doing things. Learning the recording process and what needs to be in the video, right? What can you not? Why record hours and hours and hours only to have to edit the majority of that out? So what makes sense, best shot. So for me, it's really videography and editing, and what goes into that with lighting and with sound and so on. I've been wearing my AirPods for sound, so I can have Bluetooth connectivity to my phone, which is what I record on. In the next year, it'd be nice to have a purpose camera as opposed to my phone, to have some kind of microphone that would interact with that wirelessly, to get lighting down pat. So for me, it's all video related.
Didn't you buy some fancy Bluetooth shop headphones with a microphone?
I did.
What happened with those?
The sound quality output is not great. Input, if I'm listening through them, like traditional earbuds, they are IsoTune brand, and they are OSHA approved for noise reduction. So if you're in the shop and you run a planer or a router, you can wear them and you can listen to music and things like that. But for output to the phone, the audio is just too tinny. I probably ought to do more just recording and then do voiceovers.
Yeah.
Because from a visual standpoint, you can just get on with it instead of, so what I'm about to do is this, right? Just do it and talk over it. But that requires a lot more editing, and I just hadn't been dedicated to doing too much of that yet.
What are you using to edit?
3 different things. I had been using on the MacBook the native iMovie, but on my Dell at work I use something called Power Director.
Okay.
And Power Director is very similar to iMovie, only it has more features to it. And I learned that they have a new online version that doesn't require a download, especially for the Mac. And I've been using that now on the Mac. And there's a paid version. Eventually I'll buy the paid version because that does give you a few more features. But I'm finding, since I've used that at work for probably 12, 14, 15 years now, I know it.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking I'll probably just stick with that. And then the other one is we do have, and I use it so rarely I can't even think of the name of it. What is the one that's related to Photoshop?
Premiere.
Adobe Premiere. I have Adobe Premiere, but I just didn't want to have to learn it. I just wanted to get on with it, so I started using iMovie. But I have it. I really ought to use that because that's expensive, and again, talk about features. But I can kind of do everything I need to do right now. So
I use Adobe Premiere for editing all of our videos.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like a lot of those programs for your use, I'm sure with the other 2 programs you are using, for your use, you will use about 5% of the total feature set, and knowing 5% is enough. Is enough to do everything that you would ever want to do. But the other tools are there, but that 5%, some of the workflows and some of the quality stuff is
I'm involved in kind of a chat group, if you will, on Facebook. It's a private group for woodworking YouTubers. I was invited to join that. It's been really good. And there was some conversation about music. And my subscribers don't like music. And part of it is my subscribers tend to skew older and maybe are having some hearing challenges. And so being able to hear over that noise in the background is a challenge. However, I have to admit that when I watch Casey Neistat, I love the way he uses music, but he's not typically speaking over music. So he's using it during transitions and in moments where otherwise, in my case, you'd just be hearing power tools running.
Well, I think that's true of some of the others too, like Bob with I Like to Make Stuff.
You made our restaurant?
Yeah, well, he doesn't use music.
On his blog, he does, or his vlog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his vlog posts have music.
When he's doing a project, it's
He's
just
super inspired by Casey Neistat.
on his blog.
On his
On
blog,
his blog.
yeah.
But on his project videos, it's just sped up. It's
So, what's interesting about Jimmy DiResta is he puts out every video twice. He has a Patreon-only version, which has voiceovers. The ones he does on YouTube typically do not have voiceovers. And it's because he doesn't like voiceovers. He just thinks that distracts. But people like me that are patrons, we want to hear what's on his mind. And so it's interesting to get that. And in fact, we get an edit ahead of the ones that go on YouTube.
Right.
And even sometimes there have been, hey, this part seemed to drag on, Jimmy. I'd trim this or speed this up. And he does that on the videos that end up on YouTube.
that's good feedback.
Yeah. Now, as far as learning this week and learning today, we're preparing to go out of town. And as typically happens when we travel, I end up going on Craigslist and buying tools that I have to explain to my wife at some point that we're bringing back from Ohio.
We're learning how to hide the
So
tools
I need
in
to
the car.
learn. I need to learn how to either not do that or how to break that stuff to her without ending up in a ditch in Ohio somewhere. We came back from a trip in Florida one time, and the entire back of the van was filled with tools that I had arranged to purchase before we left, but didn't tell her until the day we went to pick it up. It was really funny was she's like, so that's why you did such a thorough job cleaning out the minivan. Oh, and then I learned today, I don't know, I guess today I need to learn which Chinese food I should avoid. Plan for lunch.
Yeah.
So how about you? Take that question any way you like, but leave us a comment down below. What would you like to learn in the next year? I always enjoy the answers to questions like that, so please share. And make it a great day.
Tobacco was good.
Tobacco was good.
Smoke that again.
No, you won't. I'm just saying.
We'll see. We'll see. Someone's got to clean out the van in a couple of days. All right, see ya.